Well, martial arts is all I know. I eat it, I sleep it, I live martial arts 24/7. Wherever you come and see me, wherever I'm at, I'm a martial artist. I mean, it changed my life. It's my religion. It's my everything. It made me a better person. It made me a better father. Well, martial arts is my life. I eat it, I breathe it, I live it 24/7. It's my everything. You know, by the grace of God, I found something that allowed me to express myself. And it was the creative expression of martial arts. During the time that I came involved in martial arts, people didn't know the benefits of it. In the 60s and the 70s, I came into it in the 70s when it was just being introduced through Bruce Lee and the chop socky elements. And all I was doing is emulating what I seen on the screen. But the one thing it did, it allowed me to overcome these adversities that I was going through. All the things that I had to deal with as a kid, it gave me a way to express myself. It gave me a tool, a vehicle to be able to stop the bullying, stop the molestation, overcome so many things that one day I found a way to, tell my story, tell my truth and help other people. Oh man, martial arts. Some people don't grow and become martial artists. To me, a martial artist is everything. It's a 360-degree level of awareness. It's what you eat, what you think, how you live, how you raise your kids, how you deal with your wife. It's everything. But that's why martial arts was developed, to make that complete person, mind, body, and spirit, man. It's my everything. I love martial arts. I've been doing martial arts since I was 6 years old. I'm 41 years old now. My son been doing martial arts since he was born. He's 21. And my daughter does martial arts, and she's been doing it since she was like 7. She's 11. And we then taught from China to all over the place. And my original reason for getting into martial arts really was because I was a little kid that was afraid to fight back. Well, since the beginning of time, you know, we talk about caveman days when they had to come out and fight for food. They had to go in their instinct in order to try to, you know, slay the animal and bring the animal back home and eat. And then when whatever negative human emotions came about, they began to battle each other. They had to naturally find a way to overcome that combative attack that they were going through. So then when we had people that begin to branch out in other parts of the world, from China to Korea to Okinawa, they had to create their own individual styles that represented their environment and their culture. When we think of Chinese martial arts, I'll use, for example, like Northern Shaolin and Southern Shaolin. You know, Northern Shaolin represents an open, wide open space forest. So, you know, people do a lot of kicking and flying and jumping, where in the Southern arts of Kung Fu, you couldn't do a lot of jumping and flying because it dealt with a lot of rocks. So those styles had to be developed for survival of the, you know, for the human instinct, but they also had to match that particular environment. And then we look at today, I mean, when we think of our particular style that we teach, it had to be adaptable for the inner cities of places like Baltimore and so forth. So that's what kind of like answers that question. Since the beginning of time up to today, you got to make sure whatever style of martial arts you are expressing or combat, it got to be conducive to that particular environment. I mean, in the book, we talk about the 12 principles: honesty, open-mindedness, willingness. You know, you got to be honest. You got to be honest. Bruce Lee says we got to honestly express ourselves. When I honestly express myself and the person I'm communicating with, and they honestly express themselves, we got to be open to be able to comprehend what's being said by one another. And then once we are open to comprehend without judgment on what we are sharing, then we have that willingness, that faith, that act and go on. And then we do a more inventory. We start investigating and understanding, okay, that truth that I discovered from this other person, how can I apply it to myself so I can learn how to express myself in a manner that gives me strength and gives me confidence. When you are a martial artist, man, when you grow to become that, it ain't something, it ain't a goal that we strive for, we just become it. It's a combination, it's a mind and body experience where it all blends together. But the beautiful thing about it, martial artists come together. We ain't worried about no style, no kick, no punch. You know, when we together, we don't even talk about martial arts. We are martial arts. We are just people coming together to connect, to rhythmically move and change the world. That's what makes it all. And when you still have a conflict with another martial artist, you haven't comprehended the principles. It's all the same. A kick's a kick, a punch, but it's that spiritual connection, man, that makes me be able to connect with a Stephen K. Hayes or you know, a Dennis Brown, a Tayari Casella, list goes on and on. When I go in a room amongst martial artists or Bill Wallace or whatever, we don't even talk about Kung Fu karate. That's so immature. We talk about the connections that we have to change the world through our expression of martial arts. And that's what Bruce Lee talks about.
Two things. First, I discovered Bruce Lee when I was very young, man. Bruce was the man. He just blew me away. And secondly, I was getting into gangs and drugs, and I got beat up really bad one day by rival gangs. 5 guys jumped me. I got 11 stitches here in my mouth, and that turned me to martial arts. Because at first, you know, I wanted to just beat people up, to be honest with you, man. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't care about the arts, I didn't care about the gis and all that stuff. I just wanted to get back at those guys who beat me up. And then, as I started learning the martial arts, I started really transcending that and understanding that it's not about fighting. It's not about fighting them. It's about fighting yourself. You know, it's all about you. It's all about what you, the empowerment that you do. And my universe used to be the one-ways where I grew up. It was a small area, a bunch of one-way streets where all the gangs used to be. I grew up in this area there is my universe was the one-ways where I grew up at. And then once I started getting into films and martial arts, my universe became the whole world, man. It became the whole world. I've traveled to India, Germany, England, Singapore. And this is the little kid from the body, a little fat little guy who, you know, who didn't know nothing about nothing. But I was very blessed with the Lord, martial arts, movies, and people like this gentleman right here. I'm serious, man. This guy is the man. I really, really admire and respect what he does.
So you can learn all the tricks, you can learn all the martial arts, you can learn all the skills, people can talk to you, they can do all that stuff. But if you don't have any confidence and self-esteem inside yourself, then all that stuff's gonna be a waste of time. So the first and foremost thing that has to happen for me as a parent, I know, is that I gotta make sure that my kid feels really good about himself inside. And he's willing to stand up and be able to express himself in a respectful and positive way, because once again, bullying and conflict is real strange, like a catch-22. You can tell your kid to stand up and say what you have to say, but then if your kid stands up and they say it in an arrogant and bad manner, that's going to make the person want to hurt you. So it comes back to character, and that means that you got to be able to voice your opinion, but you got to do it in a manner that doesn't intimidate the other person that's trying to hurt you. But then that goes right back to self-empowerment. It goes back to self-esteem. It goes back to positive self-talk. I'm living it, man. I'm enjoying it, man. I mean, the good, the bad, the brick walls, but when you put so much love out, you get so much love back. Can you imagine the calls I can make and the people that are there and the people that are there to help me? They ain't giving me no dollars. They ain't giving me no trophies, no things. They just talking to me, reassuring me that I'm on the right path and to keep doing what you're doing. That's what my instructor tells me. That's what my wife tells me. That's what everybody tells me. And I might be pushing, I might be moving, but I have a balance too, because there's a day where I call it the dumb day. There might be a day where, guess what? You might ask me how much 1 + 1, I don't know. Because that's the day I get a chance to recover. I get a chance to just be, just want to be. I ain't no black belt. I ain't no 7th-degree black belt. I ain't no 7-time world champion. I ain't no grandmaster. I ain't none of that. I'm just a child of God, just trying to do my very best so I can be an example of truth that God has revealed to me. And I know that might be contradicting to most people. And I say this, and I'm gonna show you something. I always tell my students this. See this right here? This means nothing. Out of respect, I wear this so I can show students that we gotta have a goal. You gotta set that goal, but you gotta lead those results up to God, because God got so much more in store for you than what you got in your head. Belts mean nothing to me. Goals, I set them, but I let them go, man. I let them go. Man, God is good, man. Today, that's all we got.
Where it came from.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you was either Sabonems, you was a sensei, or you was Shifu, or whatever.
Yeah.
Where did master come from? But, you know, people adopted it, and now they allow themselves to be, you know, addressed by that. Okay, that's their prerogative. Don't call me that, because I'm not with it.
Have you ever met the guy that say, "Oh, it's mastermind"?
I can't stand that. I personally cannot stand that. You know, I'm a senpai, a sensei, another style, You know, it's that's why I'm an instructor. I'm a martial arts. I'm a black belt. Is what I am. You know, third dan in the highest one of my ranks, and that's it. That's enough. Yeah, that's enough. That's absolutely enough. Like, why do I have to be called something else? You know, I mean, a lot of times they call me that because they're uncomfortable with the term being used to them, and then knowing my background, and you know, and proclaiming themselves master or grandmaster or something, when you know they might have. I got folks who I taught that call themselves. So it's just, it's funny.
Yeah, and I think with you being that action hero right now, there's nobody else right now that's doing what you're doing in films. You are that person that then took that torch. You're turning out movies. Not just are you just in action films, but you on regular TV doing regular acting. I think you are that hero, and I think people in the industry needs to, you know, respect that. I talked to, you know, a close friend of ours, and I said, man, it would be awesome to get Mike to come out and do some talks to some of these school owners because they need to know that. I mean, well, it's the instructor's duty to make sure that, you know, you're in a class for 1 hour. But what you do, what you have learned in class for that 1 hour for 23 hours is more important. You know, you're in here to practice on memorizations of certain elements and movements, but it's that inner sensei, that inner shifu, that dojo that lives outside, that's in the, you know, the dojo lives with you. The Sifu lives with you. It's inside of you, man. And it's your job to make sure you are expression of what martial arts is truly all about 24/7. You don't take it off and put it back on. You are it. You become it. You are a living, walking example of what martial arts is truly all about. And that's what the complete martial artist is about, man. Expression of mind, body, and spirit to empower one another. You come into the dojo and you uplift the dojo because of who you are. You put on a black belt and you uplift the black belt. None of those things make you who you are. You make those things what they are because of what you feel inside. That's what it's all about. Hey, look, if MMA the way it was around when I was coming up, I would still be in the hood because the lifestyle of it support the lifestyle that I got caught up in and that you got caught up in. I believe that when we come from that sort of adversity, we want to break free from anything that reminds us of that sort of struggle. We don't want to walk around with our pants down. We want to walk around with our pants up. We don't want to walk around looking like a thug. We want to walk around looking like a professional. So what martial arts, especially sparring back in the day, because I know you done came up in that era where you go in the dojo, you couldn't get mad with the guy that was hitting you in the face. Absolutely. Because he was going to beat you up even more. And the technique was great. It was like through that level of adversity, you learn to respect that man that was popping you all the time, and you go home, you practice, you come back, and you might score on him, but he might hit you in another place. He might not hit you here in that journey. Am I correct? Absolutely. Man, come on, man. How do I implement those values? I am those values, man. I cannot let them go. I am what God has revealed to me. I cannot let it go. I got to live it. I got to breathe it. You can follow me around with a microscope or anything. You will see me being the martial artist that God has allowed me to become each and every day. There is no other way to be. The reason why I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning because I need to do the work. I need to begin to plan my work and work my plan so I can change the world. I know that martial arts is my gift, man. When I was locked up, I said something, and I haven't said it to many people, but I said one thing when I wrote to God. And when I was saying it to myself, I said, man, if through all this misery, if some kind of way I come back to martial arts, then that means martial arts is meant to be a part of my life. And every time things got bad and got hard, what saved me and helped me through that, it was the practice of martial arts, be it write, be it read, be it practice physically or whatever it may be, man. You know, I am a martial artist. When I try to put my life together in a book, it's kind of hard because I just did so many things in my life. But I like to start where just one particular day on October the 29th, 1989, I had no purpose. I was a dead man walking. I didn't care about nobody. I didn't care about living. And I stood there in a maximum security prison cell with a white sheet going through my fingertips. and I was about ready to commit suicide. And a fleeing thought just came to me, and it was my mom. And all I could think about her was in a welfare line, collecting cheese, and making one little speech to me before she died in my arms from cancer. And that was, "Bam, Bam, be good." That still wasn't enough. I guess God made my little son come to my eyes, and I seen him growing up to become one of those thugs and gangsters that I thought I was in my neighborhood. And I dropped down, I begged God, please, if you would give me another chance and allow me to go back to my martial arts. I swear to you, I will never, ever abandon you again. You gave me everything since the age of 17. Mr. Kokinas taught me in a classroom on a blackboard. I was the littlest kid, and amongst all the board of directors, Mr. Kovar, Mr. LaValle, my instructor, Master Brown, demonstrating, but I took it all for granted. And when God answered my prayers, I decided to jump up in that prison cell, and I began to do push-ups and kicks every day. I began to go to the library and read every book. I don't care what it was, anything that dealt with self-empowerment, I did, because I didn't need the answers. It was already inside of me. I just didn't use them. And on that day when they released me out of jail with $20, a dream, and a vision, and believing in the unseen, I was committed to go back and get my son and relive my dreams. That 6-year-old kid who promised that he would do martial arts so he can get his mother out the projects. When I got on that bus and I stopped there in D.C. and I called my instructor, every time I look, when I called my instructor, the greatest person in this whole wide world, Master Brown, after all I did to him, he said, "Come and live with me, Bam Bam." And I said, "No, sir, I need to live by myself. I need to check in a shelter, and I need to live on the street so I can make this dream come true." And I checked in the shelter, I got a job, and I ran to Washington Monument every day, and I worked out every day. And my instructor brought me back in the school, and the school grew. And from that, every dream I had as a little kid, from being in movies and getting my son, anything that I dreamt about as a 6-year-old manifests into reality. My school prospered in EFC at the top of the all-star list. But because of me, sometimes our worst enemy is ourself. I begin to have self-doubt. I begin to question myself. I begin to live based on my ego. And I believe we took a drop in EFC. And even if you look in the all-star book now, you see it's like right there around 10. But it doesn't matter because I know what my purpose is. I know what my family, as John said, look at what your weakness is. My weakness is myself. And all I got to do is look and believe and crack down and begin to go in my school and know that my purpose is to make sure each and every last one of those little kids coming at school, they don't be the person I used to be. They don't have self-doubt. I make them parents feel happy, feel joyful, and remember that if I don't give what I learned from my instructor and from Mr. Kokinas right there, if I don't give it back and keep giving it back, my school will never grow. Today, I know that I'm wealthy. I don't need money or nothing like that to make me happy because all that wealth is right there inside. What I need to do is show that every time I open up the doors. And thanks to my instructor, he has given me the strength and the power to be able to do that, and Mr. John Kokinas. So I know today what my purpose is. And as John reminds me all the time, what is your purpose? And my purpose is to give back. And I guess as I put this mic down, look inside yourself. Ask what your purpose is. What excuse do you really have? Anybody in there says the economy or whatever, it ain't the economy. What excuse do you have? I was in a prison cell ready to give up. And I dig down inside myself, and everywhere from Miss Joyce Santa Maria, Mr. Deaton, everybody right there to stand up here. This is kind of like my testimony to say thank you, Master Ernie, Master Tony Thompson, everybody in this room, Master Doyen over there, and Mr. LaValle. Without you guys, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And it's my duty to continue on and make my school a success by making every little kid. I think I say this for myself, to make sure no kid ever be like the person I used to be. And for that, that's the greatest thing that martial arts has taught me. So thank you.
That respect, the way I love people, the way I treat people, the unity of trying to bring people back together, that all comes from my parents. That's who they were. One thing people got to remember, even though people came up in the hood, and this is a crazy thing, when people say, yeah, I came up in the hood, I had it hard, the one thing that we had back then was love. The one thing that we had was caring, respect, all those things that are missing in society today. So my mission in life is to take those tools that was instilled in me with my own from my own parents and instill it in my own students. I didn't learn that in martial arts. I know everybody might say it, and I might get in trouble for that. But wasn't nobody talking about no discipline, no respect in martial arts. When I came up into martial arts, come on, man, some of that stuff was abuse. Some of that stuff was like cult following and all that stuff, man. When I came home from jail, that was the other thing that everybody got to recognize. I said, when I come back, I ain't going to be enslaved by no master. I don't care what you say. I don't care what title you got. I don't care what country you come from. You ain't no better than me. You just happen to be specialized in a specific art. But the truth of the matter is, come on, man, Bruce Lee say it. Come on, man. How can somebody take away your freedom of expression? Nah, man. Everything that I do is about showing self-love, self-respect, and even if you claim to be a master of whatever, if you show no respect, you don't deserve to be respected. Go to the streets and try to do that. That's just the other side of me, because some people abuse that in the martial arts, man. My parents showed me that, no, you go in that dojo, you show them kids how to look at you in the eye, talk to you in the eye, show respect, pay attention, do all the things that my dad always told me. I don't care if he was drunk or not drunk. He said, always say thank you. And I say to every kid, always say thank you. Cover your mouth when you yawn. Things like that's missing in our society. I'm on a mission to make sure that when you come to our school, you're going to represent all those things that I came up with in the hood. I'll say it to you again, in the hood.
In our classroom, at the start of every class, we do a student's creed, but we also ask every student, how do you feel? And their response is, super good and getting better, sir. Oh, yeah. And you know why we do that? Because we want you to always think about being positive, quoting those positive affirmations each and every class. Because the dojo is a sacred place. It's an important place. It is the place where we come to, and all the egos, all the negativity of the world, whatever's going on outside those doors, we leave them there. We check out ego at the door, and we come in with an open mind. And we come and begin to learn how to change our lives, how to change our communities, and how to inspire our families. That's what the dojo is all about. And you know what the real dojo is? Where is the real dojo? It's in here. We want to bring you the principles and the concepts so we can make sure you remember the most important dojo in the world is inside of you. And that makes you the most important person in the world.
You know, that principles and values that you represent, that's what's lost. I mean, and if we don't get that back, you can forget the art's changing.
Well, it's just sadly, it's a lot of people start the art as insecure human beings. Most of us. I think most of us.
Put my head up.
Right. But now, with power comes corruption.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And you wind up becoming the same person that you were when you started, because now there's no checks and balances. You're not answering to anybody. Now your ego's free to just, fly.
Right.
That's what happens. That's why we got so many, grandmasters and 12-year-old 4th degree black belts, like that kind of thing. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I almost feel like, okay, maybe you should call this something else. Maybe it shouldn't be called karate, or maybe you should give it another name and call it something. But I mean, it's
a day in the life of Willie the Bam Johnson. Get up without alarm clock around 2 o'clock. Motivated, inspired, empowered, ready to go and talk to God and write to God and thank God and read and begin to become a better person and correct my wrongs and ask God to take away my shortcomings and my character defects and plan my day and work my plan. Go to the gym and work out, man, and then guess what? My computers never go off. Whatever creatively come, I create. Whoever I want to reach out to, I send texts. I'm communicating and talking. And then you know what? Before 7 o'clock, I'm ready to serve food to my kids. I'm ready to give my wife my undivided attention, because whatever I was doing cannot overlap with what I got to do now to give to my family, to make sure I can sit at that kitchen table and make that oatmeal for my little son. And when my little sons wake up, man, and they like, Daddy, oatmeal, Daddy, oatmeal. I ain't distracted by nothing else. I ain't doing no work. I'm just serving them. And then the day begins, man. The daily life of Bam is just living life on life terms, doing my very best, making sure I don't put anything out there bad, making sure my intentions is to empower a person. When somebody do something bad to me, I do whatever I can possibly do to show love, man. I know that sounds crazy. I tell people, you know what? One of the things in Bam's life, I'm going to give you one spit. I'm going to give you one disrespect. If a man come up to me and say, I hate you, I'm going to give you that one. I'm going to let that one go. But I ain't going to give you another one. But guess what? I ain't going to put myself in a situation where you can give me another one. And that's going to mess you up. Because I'm going to keep on showing you empathy. I'm going to show you love. The highest level of combat is empathy. How can you take that one man that want to kill you and make him your best friend? If you've been through the trenches that I've been through, so deep, so low, in jail or whatever, guess what? You learn to show empathy towards a man that want to kill you, and guess what? He become your best friend. That's what the real warrior mindset's all about. You know, and my mom would like be looking like, Bam, you ain't bring me no trophy. I was like, Ma, I ain't win none today, Ma. And I would see her face, Bam, where's my trophy? And I say, Sight, here's the trophy. You know? If I had to go through what I had to go through for those rewards to happen with my mom and for my dad to come and see what I have achieved because he was the best that he could be, I wouldn't change nothing about it. Who would ever think that my dad would be so happy and celebrating when he just keeps saying, look at you, Bam Bam. Look how hard you work. Man, to most people that might be contradicting because you might say that man did so much to you, but that man loved me. That man did everything and because of that man and because of my mom and because of everything that I learned to love me and be the person I am. And guess what? I become the person that they wish they could have been. And that's what I do with my kids, man. That's what martial arts is all about. You don't beat another person down. You don't talk bad about another person. You take and you be the truth that they could have been. They didn't mean to do it. They just did their very best. And when you do it right and you so true, those people will change in spite of you. You know, my dad, an alcoholic, seeing him drink all the time. You know, my mom on welfare. You know, food stamps, cheese line. You know, the whole 9 yards of the inner city. You know, the drugs, the drug battles, the dark stairways. I mean, my mom was handicapped, seeing how people laughed at her and talked to her about behind her back. You know, it took me some time as a kid where I was ashamed of my mom because she didn't look like everybody else's mom. My mom, you know, when she gave birth to me, the story he told me was that my mom carried me for 13 months. She's supposed to die. And, you know, when I was born, my grandma and them had to like nurse me back together by putting me in the zinc and do their own little, you know, down country remedies to save me and her. And after I was born, my mom always was in the hospital. She always got operated on. As a kid, I think I recall my mom always going to the hospital being operated on every year, you know. And, you know, she couldn't hear it. She was hard of hearing. So people would laugh about her behind her back. And, you know, when she would go and collect her welfare check or her Santa Claus anonymous, you know, things, you know, yeah, it was embarrassing. Sometimes I would walk on the other side of the street because I didn't want to walk with my mom because I just thought my mom, I didn't know what she should have been. I just thought that I was embarrassed because people was laughing at her and whatever. But the one thing I can say, when I began to realize my gift with martial arts, man, I remember the one time, man, when my mom got stuck on the elevator and I was in the house asleep. And she was crying out, you know, she said, Bam Bam, help me, Bam Bam, help me. And I ran out and I ripped that elevator open. And I stood over top of the elevator and I said, give me your hand, man, give me your hand. And I pulled her up and she hugged me. And I realized that changed me because then I began to accept my mom. I began to love my mom. I began to be proud of my mom because I began to understand her situation and all the things I did. Everything I do right now, man, is for my mom. The only reason why I wanted to use martial arts to get out the projects, the only reason why I sold drugs is because I wanted my mom to have the best life. But my mom didn't want me to sell drugs. My mom just wanted me to be the best person I can be. And my wife say today, she said, if your mom was alive right now, your mom would be living with us. And that's the truth. My mom, my parents are everything, man. I say to any kid, anybody out there, man, you only get one mom, you only get one dad. You better treat them right because if you never felt that feeling to have your mom die in your arm, to make their last breath in your arm, everybody wish they had a parent. You better respect them because you only get one.
Willie Bam Johnson came from Baltimore streets to become the U.S. Open men's martial arts champion. What it is for an opera singer to perform at La Scala and a painter to be hung in the Louvre, it is for a martial artist to visit China. Willie is just back from a month there, working and training with the best of the best.
China was a dream come true for me. It was like I wanted to, all my life I wanted to be better than Bruce Lee or someday meet Bruce Lee. But this dream was better than meeting Bruce Lee, because I went to the fatherland where martial arts was created.
But Johnson learned more from his journey than refinements of technique.
I had moments of going to China, man. Who gets a chance to leave from the hood to go to China? But I still was not able to live with me. I was not able to accept me for who I was because I thought it was more out there than what was inside of me. I hated me. I didn't like me. I couldn't love me, you know? And jail allowed me to be able to love me. Jail allowed me to get to know me. Jail allowed me to become my best friend because I couldn't run from me anymore. And that's what I say. I just want to learn to love me. And that's what it did. I mean, I can't blame alcohol and drugs and none of those things for what happened to me. I got to blame me. I made a choice. I had a free will. I made a choice to find an easy cop-out by getting high and picking up illegal substances and trying to get by in life. And I'm going to say that it was a cop-out. I wasn't hard. I wasn't tough. Anything I used that changed my mood or anything I used to find an easy way out, come on, man, that don't work, that don't last. And it took me to go through that level. See, jail wasn't a bad thing. It was a blessing. It was the one thing I needed. As T.D. Jakes says, there's more convicts in the Bible than any other book written. I had to realize that when I was reading about Moses and all these people, it made me to realize that this was okay. God had to put me in a place where I can only surrender and come true to what God can say to me. And then I listened to God. And guess what happened? I learned how to love me and express me, and I'm constantly on a journey of constantly trying to discover the person that God wants me to be, man. So I have no regrets. I never wish to shut the door on my past. I'm blessed. soulmate, my everything. You know, it's funny, oh man. Woo. You know, it's funny, all my life I came up, I seen my mom being beat on and seeing the things that my mom went through, seeing the things my sister went through. I never knew how to respect women, you know? You know, you come up in the hood, you in that lifestyle, you disrespect women because that's what you was taught. One thing, once again, that happened in jail, I wanted to change all of me. I just didn't want to change one aspect of me. I wanted to learn how to respect women. I wanted to learn how to be a dad. I wanted everything. I wanted that whole 360 degrees. And when I began to change it, and I began to realize, you know, when I was in jail, I did not do anything that was related to sexual activities. I mean, people do other things. I didn't do anything for 1 year. I don't care. Anything that dealt with the desire of wanting to satisfy sexual activity, I didn't do anything because I knew I had to show this self-control that I couldn't engage in it. I had to be free to do what God wanted me to do. When I came home from jail, I didn't have a girlfriend for 1 year. That was 2 years with going out sexual activities. Because when I got with a woman, I wanted to know that I was going to treat her like I thought a woman should be treated. I wanted to show her respect. And you know what? Through reading and research, I just didn't read books about martial arts and all that. I read books about how to become a better person. And I set on that path when I got my kid, man. I said, you know, after being a single dad, I realized that in order to have balance, I had to find a woman that could bring that I couldn't provide for him. And I had to protect them and make sure that the me that dealt with every woman, I couldn't expose them to that. I couldn't do that no more. And when I met my wife, man, I knew that she was the right one.
I've been studying martial arts since I was 4 years old. This September 19th will be 27 years. I remember that exact date that I started martial arts. And I try to remember it every year just to celebrate what it has done for me in my life. I always keep that as a fond memory of everything that it's helped me overcome all the obstacles and things like that. I love martial arts so much.
I met my wife in competition. You know, we came up and she used to always look up to me. I used to look up to her, you know. And when I first met her, you know, I was just honored that she gave me the time of the day because her technique and her martial arts was so respected because she was so good, but her personality and her energy was so loving and so caring. And I was honored that she would allow me to sit with her. I was honored that she allowed me to take her to the movies. My first time I kissed her, I asked her for permission to kiss her. See, the one thing I learned through incarceration, I might not know what to do, but I know what not to do. And I know that for all the times I never asked a woman for permission to kiss her or to go out with her or to hug her, it was now time to ask a woman for permission before I just thought I deserved to do that. And I did that. And she became everything that I could ever possibly imagine. She brought the balance in my life. She allowed me to become softer. She became that everything that my son needs. There were things that I was so strict, man. I mean, when I went to the Chuck Norris show and I came back, the whole house was clean. We had like fish in the bathroom, you know, everything that I wouldn't let him do, she was letting him do. Now I had to accept that she was allowing him to be a kid. I was trying so hard for him to be a man and be better than me that I didn't realize that I was bringing imbalance to his life because I was too hard. And she made me to be balanced, the yin and the yang. And we complement one another. And sometimes she's hard and I'm soft and vice versa. You know, she's my soulmate, man. And most importantly, I respect her as a martial artist, not because she's my wife, but because what she has achieved in her own right. She is a master and she stands alone. And by knowing her story and knowing what she had to come through and knowing the obstacles she had to go through, man, I'm forever honored that she has given me the opportunity to become a better man, a better husband, and a better father. My soulmate, Kimber Johnson.
Sometimes things seem like life makes it seem like some things in life when it happens to you, it makes it seem like there's no way up or that this is the end and you're meant to be a failure. But then you have this conscience that martial arts develops inside of you and just helps you believe that you can accomplish anything and everything. And also, the reason that it does that to you, I believe the type of people that are in martial arts, they have this never quit, connive, constant never improving attitude.
To be a servant of God,
I got to take pieces from every element of positivity and empowerment to destroy those negative things so I can become a more complete person to be able to serve God and do my work, man. That's what I do every day. It's mapped out. You can see it. There's a vision board. There's a 10-year plan. Not just my 10-year plan on a piece of paper, but when I work out in the gym, I have music playing. And on the music tape that I'm working out to, it has my 10-year plan, me talking about what I got to do, what I want to manifest, you know, and then I have my schedule from every waking day until the time I go to sleep. It's all laid out. But the beautiful thing about that, because I'm a creative maniac, and I said it again, I'm a creative maniac. Because I'm a creative maniac, I need structure. But a lot of times my creativity go outside the structure, and I need those things to bring me back to structure. Because the truth in life lies outside of all systems, patterns, and structures. But you got to have that so you can be able to guide yourself in the right directions and stay on course of where you think God wants you to go. Because for me to limit where I want to go by saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do, then I'm limiting what God wants me to do and become.
The values that I teach, I just like to tell you, don't come from martial arts school, come from my mommy and my dad. That's just it. Saying sir, saying man, I'm feeling good about myself, believing in my dreams, getting tough love, getting total support that comes from my mommy and my dad.
I mean, I remember the times of living in the projects, my mom collecting a welfare check, and I come down the steps and the guy's selling the drugs. I know that it was because when I made that mistake to go to jail, I begged and pleaded to God, if you give me another chance, I will never, ever abandon my dreams again. And because of God, everything that I do is for some little kid that struggled just like me and you. And I want them to know out there, I don't care what goes on, I don't care what somebody's saying to you, if you believe in your heart and soul and keep God first, you can do whatever you want to do. And look at this right here. This is what it's all about. But it's all about the character and the respect that we have for one another. I'm honored, sir.
No, seriously. You know.
What I learned from my parents is respect. I learned to show respect. Respect your elders. I don't care what an older person do to you. They might cuss you out or whatever. My dad said, but you don't have the right to cuss back at them. Walk away, let it be. You can go on a rooftop, yell, but don't yell it out to them. Show them respect at all times, you know. My mom was always loving and caring.
I think so, but but plain and simple, the factor that brings me sitting here is you more than anything else.
Thank you, sir.
Is because I believe in you. I know what your heart is, and so I knew that a long time ago. So that's just the simple. I mean, I know what you're cut from, so it's an easy thing for me. And of course, I'm gonna support whatever that is. That's why I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just to be truthful.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, inside the dojo, man, my students always say, man, bring out the towel when Professor Bam get to start, because the tears come down. But, I say it again, man, just like when you was great come down, I said, just knowing you and knowing your spirit, it would give a guy like me hope. Just having that relationship with you and Byron and people that you look up to. And I know any kid out there right now, I just say to you, man, don't give up, man. I mean, look at what we come from, but look at what we can do. As we believe in your dream and you grit it out and you hold on and show respect, in the end, I believe the man with respect always rises to the top. What do you think, sir?
I absolutely believe that. I used to call it superstitious because I got in this industry and I never, ever sold out. I never made a BS friendship. I just would be honest to a fault. I wouldn't lie to nobody, even if it made my trek longer. I never played the game. Yeah. And I said, well, I got to do it my way. And eventually, I started getting the roles, and it was not because of somebody I knew. Mm-hmm. It was because of the hard work I put in. Yeah. And then it was beautiful because I got there, and I know it was from the effort, my own effort, and I don't have to. I can look in the mirror. I don't say, well, I owe this person this. I did this, and I kind of sidestepped this or that.
Right.
So by me being honest and straight up, I have the freedom of knowing that, you know, that I didn't sell out to anything. And I spoke my heart and my mind, and, you know, it was never anything that I had that altered me from anything. So, yeah, I completely believe in that. You know, it's just put your work in.
Because I'm not complete, I'm incomplete. That's why I'm a complete martial artist. I'm not complete. I'm just an advanced white belt, man. Ain't no master. I'm just, every day I wake up, it's a new beginning, man. The moment I close my eyes, yesterday's over. The moment I wake my eyes, a new day begin. And guess what? I'm on a quest to try to be complete. You're never going to be complete. To be complete is like saying you're perfected. There is no perfection. There's only progress when you strive for it. Yeah, we all want to be that, but I ain't going to never believe that. I ain't going to believe my whole hype. I ain't going to believe that hype, that I'm complete. I'm a master. I'm this. Nah, man, forget them titles. I'm just trying to be the best I can possibly be. That's what makes it complete, because you're on a journey to try to search for it, to try to be it. I think we become it and we accept that, hey, man, I'm just a beginner. I know nothing. When you come in front of a student, you are no better than that student. That student teaches you so much when you surrender to their truth of expression. You get a smile on your face. But those who can't handle that because they want to control something, what they do, they get mad and angry and make people do push-ups or kick people out the school. Nah, guess what? I want to find a way to connect with you, because all we want is harmony. When we got harmony and rhythmic flow, come on, man, the world is a great place. Have you ever been, it's like being in a good sparring match, man. Y'all going at it, man. Y'all hitting each other. Y'all banging each other like, wop, 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 wop. But when it's all over, it's like, man, thanks for that workout, man. It felt so good because we had such a connection, such a rhythmic flow, and you can't even explain it. You can't even explain it. That's what a complete martial artist is, man, because you incomplete. No human being on this planet got the strength to beat you down, or to take your heart, or to take your spirit. The only thing that can hurt you is you. Suck it up! There you go, come on, one arm. It don't matter, just do it. Get it out. Don't let it break you down.
The energy that comes off this guy is just phenomenal, and it's contagious.
When you come here, you leave behind everyday worries. You know, the frustration at work. Not every day is perfect, but when you come here, you know, you leave everything behind.
I mean, everyone has their own drama, but it's nice to get away from the 7 days a week that I have at home.
Well, it's not only about the physical stuff, it's also about how to defend yourself. It's about discipline and focus.
It gives me confidence and for myself to be strong and like to not back away from anything.
In life, something's always going to be happening. You're never going to have a clear path towards success. There's going to always be something coming towards you.
Once you change your attitude in life, things start to work, you know, in mysterious ways.
I feel strong, I respect myself. Yeah, I feel like brand new every time I walk out of here.
I love that I came to BAM's Kung Fu. If it wasn't for my dad, I probably would still be overweight and not happy.
Harder! Harder! Because the girl's not going to be hitting you on the street, the guy is. Harder!
When you hear the word the BAM, it goes beyond just the energy. It goes beyond just WMAC master. It goes to a great father. It goes to a loving husband. It goes to all those things, the things that I strive to one day be.
Go, punch! Yeah, suck! Scream it out. Scream!
He is just the embodiment of what a role model should be.
Don't you quit. Don't quit. Come on. Come on, Mr. Marvin. You know why I'm here.
I don't think they know how much they mean to me and Seth. me as a single mom, he doesn't have a male to look up to in the household. And so when he comes home and he says, you know, Professor Bam told me I was a champion today, it means the world to me, because he has someone that he can look up to every day when he comes into the school and say, I want to be a man just like that.
The memories that you make here are memories that will stay with you forever.